All right, welcome back to the channel. So we will be talking about Anthony Joshua, who, according to Tyson Fury, has to fight Deontay Wilder in order to be considered the top heavyweight. Man, something I can agree with from coming out of the mouth of Tyson Fury. The problem is that same statement applies to all three of them, Wilder, Joshua, and Fury. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. So, heavyweight division. So, we're going to be talking about a bunch of muddled stuff because this actually should be the best division in boxing, at least at the top, because there was so much interest around it. But the players involved, specifically Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, just in their own different ways, did so much nonsense to ruin this heavyweight division. In pursuit, I'm just sorry. They ruined it, man. Ruined it. But Tyson Fury says that Anthony Joshua has to beat both Tyson Fury himself and Deontay Wilder to be considered the top heavyweight. So let's analyze what he says. Off the cuff, I agree with him. Absolutely, positively. Anthony Joshua would have to beat both of them, both Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury to be considered the top heavyweight. I agree. I also think the same thing applies to Deontay Wilder. If he wants to be the top heavyweight, has to beat Tyson Fury, and he has to beat Anthony Joshua. Okay? I could agree with that. Only problem is Tyson Fury, the same thing applies to you. In order for you to be considered the top heavyweight, you have to beat both of them too. The only thing is you got to beat Deontay Wilder first because that's what you agreed to do, and you cheated him in the fight. So, yeah, absolutely true words spoken by Tyson Fury. However, the saying goes, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And in fact, we know this to be the case. As of right now, Tyson Fury is talking, and I'm going to keep saying this, is talking about an Anthony Joshua fight, right? And on so many levels, it's apparent that that's just a bunch of smoke. The first being, he's in arbitration right now. He's in arbitration that his own promoter said he thought was going to be over in May. May is still 2 weeks away, and he said that like 2 weeks ago. So how in the world is Bob Arum going to predict how quickly arbitration is going to go? Do you have an arbitration deadline? No. The arbitration is going to go as long as the arbitration says it's going to go, or as long as it goes. And to boot, you're going to have to wait on the outcome of that arbitration before you know for certain that you can do anything. But what are they doing with the negotiation? I do believe that they're having a real negotiation for the fight because there's nothing preventing Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury from negotiating a fight. The problem that they have is once they've negotiated it, their problem is actually having it, right? Actually having the fight. Because again, there may be an injunction preventing it from happening at all. Now, I wouldn't put it past Tyson Fury to still try to make the fight no matter what the judge says because he seems really, really wild like that. But I don't believe that he's going to be able to do it, okay? Similarly, I told you back in December when he said he was supposed to have a fight announced for Anthony Joshua back in December or before December. I think it might have been in November November or December of last year. Probably a little after this December because that's when he started saying, oh, I'm going to be fighting Deontay Wilder now. I'm going to fight Deontay Wilder now. Or no, excuse me. I'm not fighting Deontay Wilder. I'm getting somebody to fight on December 5th. That was December 5th of 2021. As of right now, it is April 13th of 2021, right? So December of 2020, and now it is April, halfway through April in 2021, and he has at least, according to Bob Arum, another 2 weeks left in arbitration. So you won't know until the 5th month of the year what the guy is doing. However, he's been in ongoing negotiations with Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua for 5 months. Get out of here, dude. So you're going to have to beat Deontay Wilder before you beat Anthony Joshua to claim to be the best heavyweight fighter. One, you agreed to it in a rematch clause. Skip the fact that, whether or not this guy actually, the arbitrator decides on his behalf, which I think he should. I don't understand why he wouldn't. It looks like irreparable harm to me, and it looks like that judge would just be committing even more harm. He would be the but-for cause of the harm to Deontay Wilder. That'd be shameful if that knowing what type of person Eddie Hearn is and Bob Arum is, and the lack of the likelihood of these guys ever fighting Deontay Wilder, if they're letting that Tyson Fury skate off with all of that cheating that he did, man, that's just not a really bad look. However, seeing as Tyson Fury has been stuck in the United States for the last 6 months at least. Been in the United States at least 6 months. I don't know. From what I hear, he might have been in the United States for up to a year. Just that long stuck in the United States going through this stuff with this arbitration stuff. So I don't want to hear it. As far as Tyson Fury goes, as Anthony Joshua goes, obviously that's the truth. If Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury, then he would have to beat Deontay Wilder, because who else is he going to fight? Number one, Deontay, if he gets to fight Tyson Fury, that's because Tyson Fury cheated Deontay Wilder out of that rematch. Cheated him out of the rematch. And Tyson Fury cheated in that fight. And I'm sorry, I'm not giving Tyson Fury any credit whatsoever for beating Deontay Wilder. None. He gets no credit for beating Deontay Wilder in that second fight, because the cheating was far too blatant. Far too blatant. And honestly, he's fortunate that he got the draw in the first fight with the way that those gloves were hanging up off of his hands. I'm not amazed. I'm just disappointed in more boxers that don't have the courage just to jump out there and say that. Because after Deontay Wilder caught Tyson Fury with those gloves, other people got caught doing the same thing, man. And you guys know, and boxers know, these people have been doing this stuff for years. So I'm sorry. Anybody else, you guys can go with that if you want to go with that. I'm not going with that, man. If I see a guy blatantly cheat, right, aside from not just the fact that Deontay Wilder said that his legs were weak. I don't know whether that was that case or not, but I do know that several other fighters in the same general time frame complained about the same thing, right? Alexander Povetkin goes in against who went in there last with his legs feeling super weak? Anthony Joshua goes into a fight with Andy Ruiz, legs weak, winds up getting knocked out. Deontay Wilder goes in with Tyson Fury, legs, comes out of the fight saying, man, my legs were weak. Winds up getting knocked, doesn't even wind up getting knocked out. Winds up having the towel thrown in. That tells you how much Tyson Fury is not a puncher. That he didn't knock him out. Anyway, it's just, I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. I can't do it, man. All of these guys need to fight each other. Personally, I think Tyson Fury needs to get out of boxing, and Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder just need to fight. But Deontay Wilder wants to fight with Tyson Fury. That fight should happen, and the winner of that fight should fight Anthony Joshua, and then we'll know who the best heavyweight is. But, dude, we could have done this a long time ago if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. Anyway, so that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think, and with that, I'm out. Peace.